London Tipton, who's played by Brenda Song. And speaking of songs, musicians, and speaking of musicians, Brooke, and speaking of Brooke Thriller Bark, and back to Thriller Bark.
Good God. Good God.
Yo, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today, we're back with more One Piece, which means that my name is Josh Hogback Michaels. And today, I am joined by...
Mehgan Jinkies Perine.
Oh, thank you for tuning in to another episode of what we call our Done Piece series. Today, Today, we will be covering chapters 442 through 466. This is going to be part 1 of Thriller Bark. This is post Water 7, post Annie's Lobby, and post Annie's Lobby, or post Annie's Lobby.
Post.
I just want to say really quickly at the very top here that so far, we're only halfway through this arc, but so far, I have enjoyed this arc way more than I think maybe even a lot of people expected me to enjoy this arc.
There's a lot of Thriller Bark hate. There's a good amount of Thriller Bark hate. There's a good amount, nothing happens in this. We just came off post Annie's Lobby arc.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a lot. And Oda he put his whole into those couple chapters. Okay, that volume.
Yeah.
And he always does, and he delivered fully.
Yeah.
So you could tell he wants to have a little fun.
Well, I mean, it's like Oda was doing some kind of something when he was writing and drawing this arc, man. I mean, first of all, I want to say that, I do think that maybe people are tempering expectations. They're saying that, you know what, compared to Annie's Lobby, compared to Water 7, compared to post Annie's Lobby, don't expect anything as crazy of a lore dump, even though it seems like, to me, it felt like we got a lot of lore. We got a lot of cool concepts introduced, a lot of cool characters, a lot of cool, types of species of characters or beings or things that I just didn't think were possible in the One Piece universe. Although now I know that anything, it took Thriller Bark for me to be like, okay, One Piece, everything and anything can and does and will exist.
Yeah.
I think people were just tempering expectations. Maybe that was a little bit of people were just trying to I don't know, maybe get ahead of what they thought might be a little less excitement for Thriller Bark. And people comparing it to Scooby-Doo. If you like Scooby-Doo, you'll love Thriller Bark. If you like this, you'll like that. I just want to say, I mean, this is controversial, dude. And I feel already, man, their fingers, man, they're getting hot, dude. They're twitching. They're getting ready to freaking, type something. But this might be up there so far. I mean, I don't know how this arc is completed, but I mean, not my favorite. Because I mean, Water 7, Annie's Lobby for sure, up at the top of the list. This might be top 3 at least. I mean, so far, this is so fun, and we finally get to meet Brooke. And
that's probably why.
I mean,
do you think?
Yeah, maybe that's a part of it, but maybe that's a part of it. But also all the other, like I said, concepts and things that are being introduced, it does feel crazy and it does feel chaotic and it does feel like preparing for this episode was harder in a lot of ways than Annie's Lobby and Water 7, just because it feels, and I feel like you had a similar experience reading this as well. Just everything felt like, I don't know. It felt, it was a lot to process.
Chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic in every aspect of the word. I mean, all the detail that Oda puts into his work, and already mix that with the setting that they're in, everything that they're doing, all the new characters that are introduced now. And a lot of them are doing stuff as big groups, I feel like, in the beginning. So it is I just have to kind of adjust to my surroundings in the setting, because it is just a lot to take in, but in the best way, I would say. It is just kind of hard to put it into words, because it is just beat by beat, moments for moments.
Yeah.
Versus, we found out who Luffy's grandpa is, Well,
I mean, we find out someone has a relationship, a very long a deep bond. with-
That was a reveal.
Yeah. And a long history.
Are you kidding
that
me?
was something that, did get a little spoiled for me just over the course of, not from necessarily doing these videos, but just over the course of just being in that world on those feeds. But not to the extent that I knew every single detail. But yeah, we still got some lore, man. We still got characters from what feels like the very, very, very beginning, being the strings, the dots being connected.
Yeah, that's what I do love. I mean, we kind of really fully felt that in the post Annie's lobby arc. It was like everything is connected. We knew that it was kind of, but it wasn't really brought to light as much as it was in that last, volume. And now we're seeing little trinkles here and there of like, oh, these two characters are, somehow related, or, oh, these two characters know each other. And I just feel like it's going to happen more and more and more and more and more. And people keep telling us that like, oh, this is just the beginning for like the lore. This is just the beginning for the explanation. This is just the beginning. So like you start to feel that, those hints in this first part of the arc. So it is just interesting, like how, this is kind of, people say it, like someone related it to the Foxy arc, which I would kind of disagree with.
I don't kind of disagree. Because I couldn't disagree more.
Foxy's, I feel like, was fun, and that's kind of what it was. There wasn't like a brand new member that was introduced. It wasn't that important. It was fun. I mean, I really enjoyed it. You were shocked at how much I enjoyed that. But it wasn't like this. This is where we're getting more of that.
I don't mean to take away from the Long Land arc, but that was definitely a breather. I could not catch my freaking breath reading Thriller Bark, dude. I was huffing and puffing, dude. I felt like I did cardio when I was reading Thriller
your
Bark,
freaking
dude.
heart was taken out.
My heart
and transplanted.
Yeah, I looked down, my shadow was gone. My shadow was gone. I was like, what kind of Peter Pan shit is this right now? Because you
tinkered your bell.
I tinkered my own bell multiple times reading this. Okay. And Long Land felt like a breather. It felt like I was watching or reading Wacky Racers, and not to take away from it, not that I didn't enjoy it. I definitely didn't enjoy it nearly as much.
Yeah.
And it's not to take away. That's what that Long Land, that's what that arc is for. That's what that arc is about. And Thriller Bark to me, I mean, is not even on the same level. Not even like close to the same. I had such a great time reading Thriller Bark. And I want to keep talking about our feelings about it, but before I forget, I also want to mention that this is not Mehgan's cosplay that she's been hinting at. I just want people to know that. I'm
sorry, guys. I didn't realize she was going to be introduced in these couple of chapters.
But you're still going to do it, right?
But I'm still going to do it in part 2. Part 2, you guys aren't ready.
Part 2 is going to be so insane, dude. Not only are you going to get that full volume 1, put our whole you-know-what into it cosplay of a character that I'm sure a lot of you already know, who it is. And if you look in the comments, Mehgan's already kind of dropped, some pretty obvious clues, but I think there's still maybe some room for like speculation. But we're also going to be joined by like a crazy special guest for that episode. And if you want a hint, and guess in the comments, if you want a hint, I'll tell you, we're going to be joined for the conclusion of Thriller Bark by a One Piece YouTuber who doesn't just review manga. They also review other things outside of manga. And maybe that gives it away. What?
That was a great hint.
That was a great hint or a terrible hint? Why are you reacting that way?
You guys, stay tuned for part 2.
Was that a great hint or a terrible hint?
It was a great hint.
I feel like you're being sarcastic right now.
You guys, guess in the comments who you think it is.
I'm just saying the C is a lot bigger than me and you might think.
Ooh.
So maybe you think you know who it is and you don't know. Maybe you think you know and you do know. Who knows? The introduction of Brooke too, I want to talk about real quick too. This is somebody that, obviously is such a I think, important member of the Straw Hats. They all are, right? But I feel like there's another member that gets added later on, and because they are added so late in the game, Brooke and Frankie kind of already get the shit into the stick, it feels like a lot of the time, because they are introduced, 400 and something chapters in, or Brooke is at least. But this other character that's added gets, I feel like, even more forgotten by the masses, by not the
Brooke?
real. No, this other Straw Hat member. But Brooke is like, when you see the gang, when you see the Straw Hats, Brooke's always there. And I didn't know a lot about Brooke. Like I said, I had kind of jumped the gun in my youth and kind of dipped into Water 7 out of order. And I've already, made my penance. I've already gone to the One Piece altar, and I've asked Oda himself for forgiveness, and he forgave me. And I was a youth, and I was a child. But I knew nothing about Brooke outside of maybe seeing like Movie Gold or like Strong World, but like actual like, and that thing that kind of slightly got spoiled. I just didn't really know like canonically like how he fit in to this world. And now, man, I gotta say, Brooke is like, how can you keep introducing Straw Hats? And I'm like, okay, that one might be my favorite. Oh, nope, that one might actually be my favorite. Oh, no, you know what? That one might be my favorite. Like,
it's just a testament to how great Oda is at character building. I mean, from the couple like lines we get from him in the beginning are, so unique, so fun, just such a great character. And then, just a trinkle of sadness Oda likes to do. 2 pages into this character being introduced, it's like, what?
Yeah, dude, and we're getting like back to the lore thing. I don't know why I just remembered too, but we're getting like Fishman Island.
Yeah.
Like we're getting obviously we get those connections kind of revealed. We're getting Wano like revealed, like the Wano region or whatever revealed. Like, I mean,
oh yeah, we get a character that we were kind of like even in the SBS corner, we do see that it is a character, not someone pointed out that, is this character from Romance Dawn?
Oh, yeah.
The monsters, the short story, The Monsters.
Yeah, I mean, Oda is incorporating characters from, not only that, but there was an SBS from his other short stories, but not only that, but, there's like an SBS where he's talking about how Garp was in Romance Dawn.
Oh, yeah. He says, I think he says they're different characters, but they look exactly the same.
No, they are Garp. But Garp, he's like, think of them as 2 different. He's like, they are Garp. They are both Garp. They both look the same. They both are Luffy's grandfather. But in Romance Dawn, he was a pirate. And in One Piece, obviously, he's a Navy man.
Yeah.
So they, Oda says, like, for the sake of just like continuity, think of them as different characters.
Yeah.
Because the One Piece world Garp is always been a Navy man through and through since the day he could join, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm not over here. Like, I want to know what people think in the comments, because we talked about this on Skypiea. There was a lot of people talking about Skypiea. Yeah, Skypia's, I guess.
It's whatever. I would literally just saw a meme making fun of like, oh, I'm a One Piece reader. And then it like turns to, it's like Prince Charming on the horse. And then it turns to like, but I skipped Skypiea. And then the horse is like fake.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, everyone in the comments too is like, I don't understand how people can skip Skypiea.
Yeah, and that was kind of crazy too, and was so cool to see from the community. Is there was a lot of people that were going like, do not listen to those people.
Who's telling you that?
And I feel like there are going to be a lot of people saying like, don't listen to those people who say anything bad about Thriller Bark. But at the same time, like, let us know if even if it's not an arc that excites you, don't be afraid. We're not going to attack you. Like, we want to have discourse in the comments, dude. I want to look, I want to read, and I want to be open-minded, and I want to see kind of, I get nothing is going to be like on the same level as Annie's Lobby in Water 7. It was chapters and chapters and chapters and chapters of and volumes and volumes and volumes of like build up and payoff and world building and all these things. Nothing was gonna be that. But Thriller Bark, I mean, shoot.
Woof woof.
Sounds like some people in the comments might be barking up the wrong tree. Because might be barking
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah. They might be barking up the wrong zombie tree. You know what I mean?
That was good.
There's zombie trees.
Yeah, there are zombie trees. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
zombie unicorn, zombie tree.
Oh my God. Thank you. No, I think that, you know, I again want to say that like we compiled everything like we do for every episode, but I do just feel like there's going to be things that we might not, you know, highlight enough or talk about enough, because it does feel like so many things are happening. So many things are happening. Usually I can go back. I read everything once and I can go back through and kind of like as a refresher. Right before we record, I can write down some bullet points, and usually it's like 1 or 2 events per chapter, but it just felt like these chapters, I was like, okay, well, 10 things happen in this chapter. Like, you know, 10 significant conversation points happen.
Yeah,
thing.
like I was writing my notes, and usually I write like my favorite
Hold
moments. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 pages.
Like that's such a cool page.
Worth of like notes.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was just like manically writing. I was possessed. I was like, what am I actually writing? And I went back and like looked at all the moments, and it's just like so hard because so many things are happening it feels like all at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just like wrapping your head around it and like trying to be eloquent, but at the same time, like you do feel in some moments that it is, you know, it's just for fun. But there's some times where you're like, oh no, I need this is important. Yeah.
And you know, the last thing I want to say before we go through beat by beat, I feel like you want to talk. I mean, and we're only halfway through, and that's the thing. And maybe that's why when people talk about, you know, Thriller Bark, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something at the end. I don't know. But I mean, I just don't see how this can go off the sea rails at this point, because it is such a great story so far, I feel like. But I want to say too that the fights in this, first of all, comedy, insane. Never laughed so hard reading an arc of One Piece so far. Hilarious. Like insane levels of comedy, it feels like in this arc. On top of the fights, like we're finally getting another like Usopp Baroque Works, or what was the that was the group, or was that the organization that Vivi had like infiltrated? You know, with the mole
I'm pretty sure
guy, or the mole lady, and the, you know,
I'm pretty sure that's Baroque.
Yeah, we finally get another fight like that from Usopp, and you know, and Sniper King kind of returns, you know, makes a little cameo, but like the fights are like, and we kind of saw Usopp do that when it was like Usopp versus Luffy, right?
Yeah.
We kind of saw him use his sort of intellect and strategy to outpower his opponent or overpower his opponent. Here we get to see that again. He's more specific about like his weapons.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've equipped this with this dial and this dial.
He's really prepared. And I feel like after everything that happened with the Straw Hats, you know, him, you know, almost being off the crew and everything that's happened, he's really trying to step up. And it's so funny because he's put in these positions where he feels like he can't move forward. He can't do anything. He's not as good as everyone else. But this was like a prime example of something. And even when Robin was, you know, in, Water 7 in his lobby, he was able to do the sniper. He was the only one who's able to do that. In this situation, he's the only one who can evade this type of attack. And, you know, he even said it like, you think you're going to beat me at a game of lying and negativity? Well, I'm telling you that you can't. And it's like the one thing that no one else could be, or not be, but also excel at. It's just like everyone has, like we said last episode, has their weaknesses and, strengths. And Usopp here is finally playing to those strengths, and I feel like even this little interaction will help him like grow and like be more confident.
Yeah, he's already becoming the warrior that I know he wants to be.
And even like, if it helps to he's Soge King that helps him, it's like, okay, great, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm coming in too hot. I don't know, but like Thriller Bark, you know, these chapters that we read, this first half, fights some of the like most creative, most funny, most entertaining, like even Sanji's fight with, what is his name, Absalom, and Zorro and Frankie going to help Brooke, and like oh my god, every fight, dude, Robin and Frankie, like now I get the ship, dude. Now I see the ship,
right?
Yeah, and
people are giving me crap for that. I'll die on this ship. I will die on this ship. Okay,
and now I see like their familial dynamic. And you even said that you read in an SBS or in an interview or something that Oda kind of described what they would be.
Yeah, like Frankie would be the dad, Robin would be the mom, Zorro would be the eldest son, then we'd have Sanji as the second one, Nami would be the big sister, and then we'd have Usopp,
Chopper and Luffy as the little bros.
Yeah, Choppy would be a little bro. Yeah. And I think, that would be it. But so cute. Because they
maybe
do all
Brooke
have
would be the grandpa then. Grandpa Brooke
would be the grandpa for sure.
Yeah.
You know who I ship?
Who?
Dr. Kudaha.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Korea and who?
Korea and Brooke.
Oh, you ship them? What a crazy ship. Oh my God.
I just thought of it right now.
But, I mean, does Red Bull give you wings? Or do devil fruits and coming from O'Hara give you wings? Because
that was disgusting. I want to erase that from my memory. Robin, I love you, but I'm actually visibly disgusted. And I know all of you might agree. I forget where there's a movie, or I forget if it's a movie and someone degenerates or their arm is missing and they're like, oh, look, I have a bunch of tiny little arms. What is that from?
Oh, it's from the second Deadpool movie.
Yeah, disgusting. I hated that then. I hate this now.
Yeah.
And even Frankie's like, oh my God. Like everyone was
so sick.
Just the fact that there's like, it looks like wings, but they're all skin color.
And they're all little hands.
And they're all arms.
It's a lot of fingies right there. That's a lot.
Robin, I love you. It was cool, but I had a visceral reaction to that.
I mean, I guess I get it, but I'm just saying, Robin, I mean, you keep pulling tricks out of your hat, you know? And let's just say that you might be my favorite Straw Hat for different reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know I got so much stuff to say real quick at the top. I'm sorry, we'll get into it. I swear. But freaking things like the soldier, what is it called? Like the soldier system, the soldier dock system, and the mini Mary and things like that. It's like,
my
God.
I can't. The mini Mary got me. I'm not gonna. The mini Mary got me. I was like, how cute, how adorable, and even Luffy's like, how considerate.
Yeah, how considerate.
It's considerate. He's respectful because he knew how much that meant to Usopp because he saw how he acted towards it, and he knew about the freaking Cloboterman, and he knew how much the shit meant to them. So it was like just a nice little touch. Like he's just masterful. You know, he's masterful. He's great. He's just everything.
This ship was Frankie's dream. The ship of dreams. You know, and he's also just like he's going married the two dreams together. He's married them. And I mean, he's just so considerate, so thoughtful. I love this like folklore kind of like, horror, like they stole my shadow kind of like vibe. Like, man, dude. And
I mean, he's got a lot of shit. He's got a lot going on. And Brooke's got a lot. Oh God, I'm a skeleton, but I also have my shadow taken. Like, he can't catch a break.
Dude, come on, dude. That's so sad. And Brooke is like, yo, like I'm Bones. Don't hit my funny bone. I'm so lonely.
Yeah.
He's like Sonic. If you guys watch the first Sonic movie.
Oh my God.
Where Sonic's like running around. He's like, let's play baseball together. And then he's like, I'm so alone. I'm so alone.
No, he's like, Rick's like, yo ho ho, I love my I'm funny. Let me see your panties. Everyone I know is dead.
Yeah, everyone I know is dead. It's so sad, but so funny. I also don't get Scooby-Doo vibes. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? I got it extremely when we had Chopper, Usopp, and Nami together. That's when I felt it the most because we got a Daphne, we got Shaggy, and we got Scooby right there.
I guess,
and they're all freaking out equally. And that's what was funny. That was the one time where I felt it the most. And the fact that they're getting picked off one by one, slowly but surely. But it was definitely that three dynamic when they're in the carriage, they're making jokes like, we didn't see that, did we? And they're all just scared. And of course, the scaredy cat ones would be the first ones taken out, just like Scooby-Doo.
I guess I get it a little bit more now. But I mean, even like, it was more some of the characters and the creatures, I should say, were more like Tim Burton, like not a Tim Burton movie maybe, but like, have you ever seen like Tim Burton?
Like that vibe.
His concept art for
Yeah.
his movies and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, there was like one that looked like a Tim Burton Cheshire cat, kind of character or creature.
Never for Christmas vibes.
You know what it gave me? Some of the creatures gave me a little Frankenweenie or whatever.
Frankenweenie.
Kind of aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's just say really quick, and then I promise we'll go beat by beat. You don't have to assign. So you got Shaggy, Scooby, and you said Daphne.
Daphne.
That just leaves Velma. And
Velma is Robin.
100% because she's like,
She's the
solving.
brainiac,
And she's like, yeah. So who is Fred? And it's got to be between Sanji or Zorro is Fred, right? Because I don't think Frankie would be Fred, and Luffy for sure wouldn't be Fred. And I want to say blonde Sanji would be like Fred, and he's kind of like a ladies' man, even though I don't know. Who would be
Fred's
Fred?
kind of like an enigma.
Yeah, depending on which one you're watching, which version, which series you're watching. Yeah,
because I feel like
sometimes Fred's hitting on Daphne, sometimes he's hitting on Velma.
He doesn't care. He does not, because sometimes he's hitting on Shaggy.
Sometimes he's hitting on Scooby.
Okay, let's calm down.
Okay.
But yeah, I would probably say Sanji because he's just more like happy. I feel like Zoro would be way too cool, way too, I don't care.
You're right.
Enough to be in the group. And then we have like Luffy would be like Scrappy Doo.
Luffy would be like Scrappy.
Yeah.
Who would Frankie be then? I don't know. Okay, let's not get lost.
That's all the what other Scooby Doo?
I don't know. He'd be Mr. Bean from the live action movie.
Don't disrespect Frankie like that.
I'm sorry, Frankie.
That was crazy.
I ship you and Robin.
Me and Robin?
Well, Frankie. I'm talking to Frankie. Okay. I was talking to Frankenweenie. Okay.
Frankenweenie?
Anyway, I loved it. Let's just freaking jump into it.
Woo!
It opens on the new ship, the 1,000 Sunny, and we see a little bit more of the rooms. And over the course of, we see the Inaru or Enel.
Oh my God. That was also a highlight. Are you kidding me?
That was crazy.
That was a journey.
Dude. And you know what, too? I felt like, all right, Oda, like, stop doing whatever drugs you're doing right now, dude, because my brain can't handle it. Because it's like we're getting this crazy, chaotic thriller bark story. And then, like, I don't even get to breathe during the SBS. Like, the SBS has these, like, flashbacks, these, like, war flashbacks on this moon, the space pirate saga. And I'm like, this is cool. What is this? What am I reading?
Because, like, they all have a master, and then the master passes away. And, like, It was just, that was crazy. And then they're like, we couldn't fight hard enough. And I was like, you guys, like, it was sad.
I'm over here feeling like I'm trying to decipher a poneglyph, dude. I can't even like get my mind right. I can't even get my thoughts right. Okay, that's like forbidden knowledge. I feel like I'm discovering like moon planets and freaking ghost island ships with like ancient berserker beasts. I'm like I can't. I lost 5 pounds reading this.
Did you really?
No, I mean I did, and then I gained it back immediately after.
Yeah.
And some, but anyway, the 1,000 Sunny, and over outside of the Enel thing, we get like blueprints of the 1,000 Sunny, which is awesome.
Yeah, so cute. I mean, all of it is just so cute. He's so considerate of all of them, and they all have their own spaces, and I'm just obsessed. I love when characters in any, like, even like, not a good example, but like in Kanto, they all have like very specific rooms to their abilities, like. Chopper has his little hospital area. He's like, it's my room.
Lab.
He's like singing. It's his room.
The
everyone,
aquarium, getting to see it. We heard about it, but getting to see it.
Everything.
And I don't know what it was. And by the way, quick side note. Mehgan has watched this video on YouTube. Probably, I would say 100 times. And there's like a resort or something that is a replica of the 1,000 Sunny.
Yeah, like actually moving on the ocean, 1,000 Sunny.
And there's even a kitchen and an aquarium and all. It's not an actual aquarium, but all the windows are like screens, and it shows this shark swimming through.
Yeah.
It actually looks insane, and we need one where we live.
Yeah, I would be on it every day.
And you really would.
I would.
You really would. But also there was something about seeing Usopp and Luffy back up to shenanigans again.
I'm crying.
I was
My
literally like emotional. They're just goofing off. And
How it should be.
How it should be. 100%. And I mean, they're just in the ocean. I mean, they're just up to stuff and they're doing what they always do. But just after everything they've been through, I was like, I didn't know how special this was. Like, this is like a special like friendship. Like,
they're brothers.
They are. They're family.
I would say
emotional right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Chopper in his little doctor's office too.
Josh.
I'm sorry. My face is kind of itchy and I can't scratch it because I got all this freaking. I got all these real stitches on me right now.
Yeah.
After everybody's kind of settling in to their new areas and we're kind of getting to see more of the ship, a barrel floats aboard, and this barrel is what they call a treasure offering, and it's what other sailors or pirates leave as an offering to the gods. And
of course, Zorro's like, "Is there booze in there? If there's booze in there, let's get it on right now."
Yeah, let's drink that.
And Robin's like, it's customary to leave alcohol in back when you drink all of it. Chopper's like, really? And I'm just like, yes, Chopper taking all this knowledge.
I liked it.
What?
It just had a weird it was the way that it trailed off. Like, it was like, yes, Chopper.
Okay, I did not mean
take on all this knowledge. Like, this is how it ended.
Literally, you're making it tainted.
No, I'm not tainting it. I'm just saying. I said I liked it, and I started that way.
They would have never thought of that, and then you put that into their brains like a doctor.
Taking all this knowledge. It was...
Take all the knowledge you can get, Chopper. Was that better for you?
Yeah, well, I like the first one better.
So they take this barrel, and they open it, and a flare goes off.
And obviously, we the audience know or get the sense that it's signaling another vessel or another group of people. Yeah. And then they enter the Florian Triangle, and we get to see more of the soldier dock systems. And Frankie kind of says that there's all these slots, and at this point in the story, I think he kind of lies to him and says like, oh yeah, these 3 are empty. But then we get to see kind of what's in 2 of those. Or I actually think we get to learn what's in 3 of them. We get to see what all these like vehicles are.
But before that, he's just, obviously there's a storm coming where they're at. And he's like, you think this is the only thing that this ship can do? And it's like, yeah, I knew they'd be able to get out of the storm. No problem with Frankie's ship and Nami's navigation. So they get out of the clear. It's still foggy. And, they're talking about some ghost ships. They're talking about ghost travelers.
And they're telling Usopp about it because Usopp is the only one who was not there during this first conversation.
Yeah.
And
of course he's like terrified. It's like Chopper's terrified, Usopp's terrified, Nami's only terrified when she doesn't know that there's money involved. And
as they're talking about all of this, a ghost ship approaches, and Brooke, the gentleman skeleton, enters the scene. Brooke is a pervy gentleman who, which might be an oxymoron, but is who is constantly making skeleton jokes about the fact that he is a skeleton. And it's so funny, dude. After Water 7, Annie's Lobby, volumes, chapters, what feels like so long getting Frankie and Robin to actually finally join. You meet Brooke and Luffy just flat out like, join my crew. And Brooke's like, okay. And that's the move. That's how you do it. That's what needs to happen to diffuse or to throw off. I mean, it's just a perfect sort of, it's the perfect next move after. I mean, come on. I mean, you really think that oh, here's Brooke and especially now going back and reading it after so much is out, going, oh, here's Brooke. I can't wait to see what Brooke's whole long thing is. And then Luffy's like, join my crew. And Brooke's like, okay.
I mean, I like to obviously we knew that Brooke was going to be on the team regardless, but imagine reading One Piece and not knowing that Brooke was going to be a character that was in fact a part of the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
You know, you get introduced to characters all the time, but you never think like, oh, that's a Straw Hat. Imagine if you were reading for the first time not knowing any of these characters. So, and Luffy too, it is just like, I think he just thought he was cool and was like, join my team. He didn't even know that he didn't even know if he could sing. He kind of did, but he had no intention of being like, hey, we're looking for a musician. I know that this guy is great at music. Like, no, not at all. He's just like, I've been looking for a talking skeleton. You want to be on our team? He even asked someone else, you want to be on our group? And it's just like, he just likes the cool people. Yeah. He just thinks he's entertaining and funny. So he's like, I don't care what you do on this ship, you know?
And that's what makes Luffy a great captain. And we get a lot of like Brook backstory, kind of like segmented Brook backstory. And this first like portion of backstory we get is explaining why he's a skeleton, how he's a skeleton. Mm-hmm. And he was a pirate who ate the revive fruit. And during his life, he said that this fruit did absolutely nothing for him. He didn't have any ability until the day he died. And when he died, his soul left his body, and he was able to his soul was able to return to the world of the living. However, because of the Florian Triangle and the area they were in being so covered in fog, he couldn't find his body. So he kind of wandered around for years looking for his body, and when he found it, it had already decayed and turned into a skeleton. All that remained was, his afro, pretty much, which anything but my afro is, I think, what that, or don't touch my afro or something is like what that chapter's called later. Jesus Christ. Might be one of my favorite chapters, dude.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about Brook. I don't know what it is about this arc, these characters, but I was feeling it. I was really feeling it. After, you get to learn a little bit more about Brook, he's down there in the cabin, and he's not showing up in a reflection. Usopp, Chopper, and Luffy are looking at him in a mirror, and he's not there. So you're thinking, okay, is this guy really just an undead skeleton, or is there something more to him? And it's because his shadow has been stolen.
Yeah.
His shadow has been stolen, and I'm thinking like, okay, again, what kind of folk lore, what kind of folk tale are we in? Horror folk tale? Are we? This is like an A24 film.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's
a very campy,
No, it is very campy. It is very
campy. It can't be horror funny.
Yeah.
It's sweet. A24 is too scary. This is more it's more Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Hotel Transylvania,
You know what? I am so sorry. It is a little Hotel Transylvania.
Why are you sorry?
I just feel like that might upset people. Like, how dare
Hotel Transylvania 1 is
a
a great movie, and I will fight anyone who wants to
I'll
say
say
otherwise.
it's a good movie.
Anyways, I'll fight you after this freaking podcast.
Again?
Again. Give you stitches again. Snitches get stitches. Okay?
Oh my God. Anyway, his shadow doesn't show up, and his shadow was stolen. And he says he can't join the crew because of this. He can't go out in the sunlight. Similar to a vampire in a lot of ways, he will catch fire and he will really die. And the revive fruit only gives him a second life. He's not immortal.
He's just like I said, he's making these jokes. He's saying all this stuff. He's like, be a part of the team. And he goes, oh my gosh, everyone's kind of skeptical. We don't have a shadow. What the heck? You don't have this. You don't have that. Like, we don't like you. No one likes him. Even Frankie's kind of being friendly with him. And Sanji's like, do not be friendly with this fool yet. Yeah. And everyone's kind of wary of what he is and what he's about. And then he just has that line, like, I am so happy that I get to talk with people. Yeah. You have no idea how much this means to me. I've been so alone, and I never thought I would see anyone ever again. And here you guys are, and you asked me to be on your team, but I have to decline. Yeah. And it was just like, and everyone's face, like, kind of, like, they felt that. They were like, wow, we've all kind of been in that lonely place too, huh? That's what I love about the Straw Hats. They're all equal in that sense, where they've all felt that loneliness of being like an outcast or not having a place or not having a family. And they all were like, okay, maybe Brook's all right, Yeah,
I was with them in that room feeling all those things. Like, it was a really touching moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, after he says that he can't join, one of the ghosts. Or what'd you write down?
It's like me not having a shadow is completely different. To be continued. And Zorro's like, just finish your sentence.
yeah.
He's so funny.
He's so funny, and that's what I mean. This whole arc is hilarious. Like, it's like Long Ring Long Land is wacky. The Thriller bark is hilarious. I mean,
that's a good way to differentiate.
Yeah, I mean, it just had me like, and even you, like, I would hear you reading chapters and just hear like cackling coming from wherever you were reading it at. Could have been freaking in the next city over.
Oh, it could have been. My cackle's that strong.
Yeah. It's infectious.
It's like a zombie ghost witch.
There's a little witch in there.
Oh.
That was just.
Is that how he does it?
Straight up, like Brooke, pirate Brooke, yeah.
Oh.
That's a little Santa Claus. As he's talking about this, a ghost starts to come through the ship, and they sail through this giant mouth, and they enter Thriller Bark, and we learn more about Thriller Bark, this location, as the story progresses. I think it's said to be at first like a wandering island at first, and then we learn more about it later. But yeah, so as that happens, Brooke is like, later, I gotta go get my shadow back. And that's when, the team breaks up again.
Pimp named Shadowback.
A pimp named Shadowback. Okay.
That's funny.
We need some fan art of that. Like Brooke as a pimp named Slickback from Boondocks.
But name, I need my shadow back.
A pimp named I need my shadow back. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And Brooke kind of has like a pimp vibe.
He does. He has the cane.
And he's kind of got that pimp swag too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Rick's cool.
Brooke's a pimp.
Yeah.
Brooke is a musician / pimp / stand-up comedian, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, because as stand-up comedians are sad and lonely. Anyway, this is when they go to investigate that was a Joker laugh.
Yeah, that really was. It's like you have no friends.
This is when the group splits up and they go visit or investigate, right? And that's where we see the Manny Mary.
So cute.
And it's also revealed, the other ones are also revealed too. Like one of the slots holds a waiver.
Yes.
One of the slots holds the Mini Mary, and one of the other slots holds this like shark submarine,
which is awesome.
Awesome.
Things they need,
Yeah, things that they can actually use and can actually help them along their on their adventure, along their journey. Mm-hmm. While the rest of them are on the ship. This is freaking it's crazy now, but it's more crazy later. Because everybody Zorro's sword starts coming unsheathed and one of the hatches opens up and down, and we had seen a ghost earlier, but this seems to be some sort of invisible entity.
Oh yeah. This was some sussy.
Yeah. And he's a beast, and what is he? We don't know. He's an invisible man. What's happening? Kind of thing. He's like licking Robin,
straight up licking.
And it's just you don't know what this is.
You don't know what it is yet, and then when you find out, it's the worst thing it could possibly have been. You're like, what?
Yeah, and then the scene with Nami later is like,
oh yeah,
it's like wow. Usopp, Nami, Chopper, they're on the quote unquote island, and
that was funny. They're riding on the Gomeri, right? Yeah. And they're in the mini Gomeri, and then you just hear in the fog, and they're like, they're gone.
They're done. They're done. Their story has been told. It's over.
Yeah, 3 straw hats down.
Yeah. Meeting Brooke, gotta make room for new ones.
Yeah.
So they see all these crazy creatures on this quote unquote island, and one of them is like a Cerberus 3-headed dog type of creature. But what's interesting about this creature and why it can't or might not necessarily be Cerberus to them is because it doesn't have just the heads of dogs. It has the heads of foxes and dogs and, what seems to be like
hodgepodge.
A hodgepodge,
if you will. And if you won't, a hog back.
Okay, yours was better. I concede. And they run into a character named Hilden.
Hilden kind of looks like a Miss Little. What is that? That franchise, Miss Little Sunshine.
Okay.
There's like it's very specific.
Hilden.
He kind of looks like a Muppet or like a.
I would say he's got like a Muppet kind of maybe vibe, but what does that have to do with Miss Little Sunshine?
Not
or
the
Little
movie.
Little Miss Sunshine.
It's like it used to be a show on Cartoon Network, and there's like shirts of them, and it's very specific.
I think I maybe know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She had like freckles, and they're like just like circular things.
You're talking about Yo
colors.
Gabba Gabba.
No.
But it was like one of those.
No.
Kind of puppet, kind of.
No, it was an animated show.
Oh, then
anyway,
you're talking about the Backyardigans.
I'm sorry for bringing it up. Anyway, yeah, Hilden is 21 Savage.
Dude, he's crazy, dude. Are you saying that because he's got he's got a 21 on his head? Yeah, he comes in, he's like 21. And he tells them that this is the island of Dr. Hogback. Now, when Choppy Baby
finds it out, he goes, Hogback!
That's so good. It's so crazy. Chopper, being a doctor, knows of Dr. Hogback. A lot of doctors or people in the medical field know about Dr. Hogback.
Yes.
He was a prestigious surgeon, the best in his class. This guy was a trailblazer, and then one day he mysteriously disappeared. He's a man of, he's educated. He's an innovator. I mean, this guy is to people in the medical world a legend. Yet he mysteriously one day, like the Avatar, when the world needed him most, he vanished.
Yes. And Chopper was like, so he's here. Great news. I want to meet him right now.
Let's go. I get his autograph? Yeah. So excited.
Yeah. And 21 Savage is like, yeah, of course. Hilden's like, go for it. Like, I'll introduce you right now. Just get in this carriage and we'll go.
Man, this is a tangent, and I almost regret immediately bringing it up.
Don't say it.
What was Brenda Song's character's name from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody?
Tipton, London Tipton.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. When you said Hilden, I heard London
Hilton?
Tipton for a second.
Yeah.
And just like London Tipton,
this is the sweet life.
Just like London Tipton, who's played by Brenda Song. And speaking of songs, musicians, and speaking of musicians, Brooke, and speaking of Brooke, Thriller Bark, and back to Thriller Bark.
Good God. Good God.
I mean, you got to get there somehow.
You could have just.
I know,
It's okay.
But when they see all these creatures on this island or all these like experiments, you start to piece together. Who he is. It makes sense kind of what's going on. This guy is at this location and he's using it as a place to experiment and do some pretty probably unethical experimenting on not just humans but animals. I mean, they see a lion with a human face that is terrifying. The trees are even terrifying. And there's another funny scene, dude, where they're like looking out the window of the carriage. Funny. And all the like trees, everything is like laughing at them and like kind of like, we got another one. And then they go like, what? And then they all try to act normal and like nothing is happening. I don't know. It's the funniest One Piece has ever been.
Yeah. And then they get stranded by 21 Savage Hilden.
Yeah.
And
London
they're
Tipton.
literally having to force themselves off of zombies and like Usopp's getting bit and they're like, you're gonna turn into one if you get bit. It's just so funny. Like, I love zombies, and like even as they're trying to get away, they're slow at first and they like speed up and they're like, oh my God, they're fast. And they're like running full speed.
That was so funny too.
It's so great.
When you found out that zombies not only could happen but were happening in One Piece, like, you must have been.
I was shook.
You must have been over the moon.
Eneru's moon.
Yeah.
I was. It was exciting.
And they are, like you said, like how Oda plays with, your knowledge of zombies and even the characters in World saying like Usopp saying like they can't run, and then the zombies act like people.
Yeah.
Like just like
they're acting up like zombies, but then they act like people. Like, damn, why'd you hit me that hard?
Yeah.
It's like, what are they even doing?
It's so funny.
I was dying, and of course they finally get back. Like, Hilden comes back like, I had to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry. They're like, you left us.
No, yeah, they don't even see Hilden again, I don't think, until they get to the mansion.
That's what I mean. Like, you left. What do you mean?
Yeah. And then they get to this haunted mansion. They meet Hogback, and they meet Sindri. And Sindri is another character that
Sindri's awesome.
Is so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, she has this thing, and Hogback, I think, makes up this, like, maybe it's a half-truth. I mean, we find out that he is clearly lying about almost everything.
And Hogback's got some, like, Rocky Horror picture vibe show. Picture show vibes.
He's also really got Hotel Transylvania vibes, dude. I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, this is, like, literally a haunted mansion, in spirit, I guess. In spirit.
Oh.
But Hogback, dude, he looks like he would be in a Hotel Transylvania movie. Like,
for sure.
His proportions and everything.
It kind of reminded me of like Scooby-Doo Ghoul School.
Ghoul School. I forgot about
Ghoul School is the best Scooby-Doo movie.
I completely forgot about Ghoul School.
Anyway,
yeah.
It is all just like
Sindri is this like person zombie who is like has this weird like she's like hates plates and like wants to break every plate that she comes across.
Yeah, something about her husband, right?
Yeah, that's what Hogback says the first time.
Yeah, because like her husband
was rich and she broke his like prized plates, and then they canceled the wedding or something.
Yeah. And she's like, I want every plate. So every time she serves him food or anything, she just serves it right on the table, no plate. And he's like, it's just like a back and forth, like, I need a plate. And she's like, no, I hate you and I hate everything you say. Yeah. Like, she's always negative towards him. And they just have that type of relationship. And I just thought it was so funny. Like, this is the part I probably laughed at like the hardest is like, Chopper's so excited to meet him.
Yeah.
He goes, oh my gosh, you're the best. Like you're so great at being a doctor. He calls him a doctor. He's like, don't call me a doctor.
Oh yeah, he did the wiggle. He did the wiggle. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, can I go in your? Can I watch in your workspace? And then he just like immediately like, zooms in on his face, and he's like, you will never get to go in my workspace. And Chopper's face was so funny. It was so funny. He's just like scared to death. Oh, I laughed so hard.
Yeah, that was a funny moment. And then when you bring up the plate moment, there was another moment later too, where Hogback's like, look, Sentry, I mean, I get it. You don't like plates, dude, but just stop making soup. Like, make solid food. Like,
and it's like a side conversation happening with like a main conversation. Like, so hilarious. They're like, I think he's lying. And it's like, just make
just make
solids,
foods that make sense to eat without a plate.
I wish she would stop making chowder. Like dumb.
But we find out that his dream is also like Hogback's dream is also reviving the dead, and that apparently he was, either shunned or again, fled because again his practices were probably unethical. Then it kind of cuts back to. They kind of just like they're lying clearly, and I think even Usopp, Chopper, and Nami know that they're lying, but they're like, yeah, just hang out for a little bit. We got a bedroom for you, but before you go to bed, clean up, take a bath, relax. Nami takes a bath while Usopp and Chopper wait outside. And first of all, I loved this little line between like Usopp and Chopper, like. Sanji would be losing his mind, I mean,
Zorro would be asleep.
Zoro would be asleep.
Luffy would not be waiting by the door.
Luffy would never sit still, unless he was eating. But like, just like Chopper's like, I don't really like find human girls like attract, or I'm not really attracted to like human girls.
Yeah.
And Usopp is kind of like Usopp. It's not that he doesn't want, wouldn't want to, because he kind of does see Nami naked. And he's like, thank you or whatever. But it's not like he's like trying to. Peak Sanji would be actively trying.
Well, Sanji wished he had an ability to do that.
Dude,
that was
the funniest part of this.
That was crazy. Reveal.
That was so funny the way it was played.
I was like, Sanji.
And that's what I think it is about a lot of these jokes is how they're played. Like you said, the soup thing was a background thing.
Yeah.
Had that been a joke that was at the forefront, it might have not been as funny. The Sanji thing, if it wouldn't have been that this was like actually his dream and it was like, and then it like had this turn and then there was a zombie reacting to it. I mean, incredible. But yeah, the invisible guy sneaks into the bath and just pins Nami against the wall. And he like kicks her leg open, it looks like at one point. And he's like all up on her. And
It was shocking.
It was shocking.
To say the least. I was like, huh?
It was shocking. It was kind of actually disturbing because it looked like I forgot I was reading One Piece for a second. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I hope nothing happens to Nami. Like, to
yeah, that's
Nami.
where Oda draws a line in the sand. He won't kill off any characters, but he will.
No, and then I was like, okay, it's One Piece. It's
yeah,
not gonna...
what do you?
But I mean, that's how strong of a reaction I had.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because I mean, we haven't seen anything like that to that extent in One Piece. Like even to one of the Straw Hats, I was like, oh my God.
I was like, there's nothing they can do. I mean, people, I mean,
it was shocking.
It was shocking. But anyway, they were able to escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of cuts back to Robin, Frankie, Sanji, Zoro, Luffy. They enter the island and quote unquote island. And it's funny for a lot of reasons and it's awesome for a lot of reasons. The first reason being that we finally get to see Frankie and Robin for the first time, like as a part of this dynamic, this group, this crew. They're not trying to rescue or escape or, or they are trying to, I guess, rescue. But I mean, like they're not trying to be rescued themselves.
Yes.
We get to see them and how their relationships have already started to form, how they're already starting to come together. And it's just so refreshing to get these new additions to this dynamic. And I think that's what keeps One Piece fresh. It can make it a series that can last thousands of chapters because it never gets stale. A new character gets introduced and it sends the entire group dynamic into a shift. Like maybe it's subtle shifts and changes here.
Yeah, and it's also the group dynamic and also the consistent change of setting. Like, they go genre. That's what keeps it moving. It isn't, the same story. And from other characters' perspectives, we get new perspectives on everything that's happening. So it is just like bouncing from each character to each character. We have new banters between the characters. We have new relationships. Like it is all just moving and it feels so organic and it feels so earned when, big events happen and they all make it together and they all are able to accomplish a task together. It is just like, wow, like this is great. Like this is what I'm in it.
Yes.
I'm in it.
Yeah, I mean, I was so in it the entire time. And it's funny too to see how like one group handles the quote unquote island and how the other group does and how the other group blows through everything.
Yeah, because that group is monsters. That group is monsters.
Yeah,
we have
we
Nami. have Nami, Usopp, and Chopper. Not that they're not strong in different ways, but they're scaredy cats and they're just a different type of group.
Yeah,
we literally have Robin, Frankie, Luffy, Zorro, Sanji, like the craziest people ever are just blowing through everyone. It doesn't matter who, and it's just so funny to see that. I mean, some people might get annoyed, like, oh, they can just defeat everyone. Oh, it's just like so, so boring. Dude. It's like, no, this is hilarious because it doesn't. They're one goal. Let's just get them back and let's deal with this now. And they're having fun.
Exactly. What was a challenge for the other group is fun for this group. And so it's cool to see people afraid and trying to solve these mysteries and people just being like, yeah, I mean, we're just going to do whatever. This is awesome. This is like Halloween Horror Nights.
A freaking 6 million berry jackpot. Are you kidding?
That was so sick.
Are you joking?
That was so sick.
Are you kidding me? Like, what a crazy line.
Yeah.
Like, they just know they're the shit. Like, it was great. And there's so many, like, that I wrote it down because it was just so funny. Like, the second time it happened, I was dying. Just Luffy, like, thinking that all the zombies are, like, old men. Like, oh, that's an injured old man. God. And they're like, oh, that's a zombie. And then it's literally an injured old man.
And then one guy was like, he's like, no, I'm an injured old man.
Yeah. And they're like, can you just be a zombie? And I was like, just make it easy for us.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
And
but yeah, that guy is and then they meet the negative ghost.
Yes,
and that was
was hilarious. Even Luffy was negative. Like, oh, so
Bro,
funny.
I love our community. I love them. I love every single one of you.
Oh.
But why did no one tell us that it was this funny, man? I mean, maybe thank you, because maybe it wouldn't have been this funny if it would have been told us it was this funny. But it felt like people were like, it's okay if you don't like it as much as Water 7. It's a breather arc. Don't get your hopes too high. But it's like, damn, tell me that about every arc then, because maybe I'll have the same reaction.
I know, honestly.
I mean, that part was so funny. I forgot about the old man thing, the negative zombie thing.
So hilarious. I was dying.
Ah, man.
Like, it was like, oh gosh, there's so many great moments. Like, that, just the bits.
Yes.
Like, just like
And
Luffy's face.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
But that old man tells them, and you hear the zombies kind of muttering about Brooke and like Brooke's back and all these things.
They're talking amongst themselves like zombies do.
And the old man drops some pretty important information. He tells them that his shadow was also stolen, and it was stolen by the same guy that stole Brooks, and that guy is Gecko Moria, who is one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
7.
We got to get a drop. We got to get a 7 warlords of the sea.
Damn, son. Where'd you find the 7 warlords of the sea?
That was pretty good. I liked it. I liked it. And this is huge. Because we finally get to meet another warlord. You know what that means power level wise. This is not a long land.
This is not a drill.
That's what I mean about
this is not a drill.
It's not a drill, but that's what I mean about, lore building 2. We get to meet another warlord.
This ain't no Foxy.
This ain't no Foxy.
Okay, this ain't no Foxy. Oh, I will put on a dress. Oh, do some funny games. No,
this is a warlord of the sea.
This is some warlord of the sea. This is some shadow shit. Okay,
this shadow play.
Shadow play.
Yeah.
No play. Work hard. All play.
Okay.
Work hard.
Right.
No play.
All right.
Work hard. No gain.
Okay. So after that bomb is dropped, Usopp and his group, they're spying on Hogback, and they're kind of getting a peek in on how like zombies are made, or they're trying to figure out how they are made, and they pretty much, I think at this point, kind of start putting it together, like what's happening, and it's basically that Moria will steal a shadow, and Hogback is basically creating these like super corpses and infusing or putting into, they're basically vessels for these shadows. And once a shadow is in a corpse that has been, got the arms and the muscle of a, whatever fighter, and it will also take on some of the personality, or have some of the same fighting styles or skills or strength that, its owner had, the shadow's owner had. And so that's kind of how these things are being made, which is a pretty intimidating force, I would say.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we see later what that can mean.
Yes.
Especially if the personality is like
strong.
Strong. That's, yeah.
Then we get to meet Perona, the ghost princess.
I mean
what?
I mean, this character.
Perona
was made
for what, Mehgan?
For me to love.
Oh, for you to love.
Yeah.
And only love.
Only love. Yeah, I love her. I mean, come on.
How can you not?
Yeah, like
Perona is I would say, sometimes she doesn't even feel like a One Piece character, but she also does feel like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, she just has a great design.
Yes,
and she's so cool, and she's like mean, and it's just so funny, and she's just awesome.
She's like a gothic, like Alice in Wonderland character or something, dude. I don't know. Like, I love her design. I love her ability, her devil fruit ability. Like, and this other guy, I don't like. I don't. I mean, his fight with Sanji is cool, but
Absalom.
Absalom. Yeah. At the same time we meet Perona, the ghost princess. We also meet him. He's like the commander. They're both commanders.
It's like a lion face fool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't like him.
I don't like him as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his character design. It's okay. He's no Perona. He's no Brooke.
Yeah.
He's no even, who's another cool ass character from Thriller Bark? I mean, he's no, Wano undead samurai swordsman.
Yeah, he's no Miss Undead Piggy.
Oh yeah, he's no Miss Undead Piggy. But I also really, he is a really just annoying character. I mean, like he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be this gross like character, and he really is. And I don't care for him much. But we finally get to meet them and understand that they're commanding different sects of these zombies. Usopp meets the undead swordsman and his group. Usopp and his group meet the undead swordsman from Wano, who has, I think at this point, we're starting to get hints that this is the zombie that has Brook's shadow.
Yeah, and I didn't really get it. I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, this zombie's just powerful, because we don't even really know that Brook could be doing that shit,
Yeah.
At all. We're like, oh, Brook's just a singing guy who died on a ship. Like, we have no real like compass for like what his abilities are. So I was like, this guy's not even a fighter. I thought he was just a musician, and then like turns out this fool is a good fighter.
Yeah, great fighter. But also the zombie corpse that he's in is also like, Brook is a great fighter.
He's a legend.
Yeah, Brook is a great fighter. But combined with the fact that this guy is a powerful corpse and was a powerful person too, like it's like they're even crazier, more powerful.
More power to you.
More power to you. And he fights similarly, or he even sounds, kind of like Brook to them, and that's kind of how they start piecing that all together. Absalom wakes up the zombie generals, and we meet Lola, the warthog bride, who goes after Nami, which was, we don't have to spend like a crazy amount of time, here, because I'm feeling this episode is going to be forever and last forever, but I don't mind. But this was also super funny too.
Oh yeah, she's hilarious. She's obviously going after Nami because he's already set his sights on Nami, and we get more moments of like Nami and Chopper, and just when you think it couldn't get better, we have these penguin fools.
Oh my god, that penguin dog. You're talking about the penguin dog? See, I'm gonna be like you, and I gotta be honest too. I mean, I didn't, when we met that Wano swordsman guy. Zombie. I also didn't really know what 100% was happening. I was kind of a little confused.
Yeah.
And then when we met this penguin dog, I was even more confused.
I was like, that has to be Sanji.
But I was like, when? I was like, when did this happen?
Well, they said Sanji kind of went on his own, right? They, they're fighting the monsters of the house, the zombies of the house. They fight that bear, they fight that pig on the wall. And they're like, and Robin kind of notices like, oh, Sanji's, or Luffy's like, oh, Sanji's gone? And the pig's like, ha ha ha, one of your crewmates are gone. And Robin's like, okay, I guess we'll have to go on without him. He's like, well, aren't you guys scared? Your teammates back there, they're like, nah, we're good. He always does this.
He can handle himself.
Yeah, he always does this. It's fine. So like he gets picked off. And later on, Zorro, like they're all getting,
But by the time it happened with Zorro, I kind of understood what was happening.
But not with Sanji.
Not with Sanji, but also with Zorro, it happened so fast.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole ceremony with Luffy, but like...
Yeah, they got him on the assembly line?
Yeah, it felt like it.
Okay, do it real quick. Like, it happened in 5 minutes.
It happened, literally, it felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And Zorro was gone, and this new...
Sanji's been gone for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. So it made more sense.
Yeah, but I knew for sure. I was like, okay, Sanji's been missing. I know it doesn't look like him at all, but something's going on. That's Sanji, because he said, I'm not going to hurt women. And they knew it. They knew it immediately, too. They're like, wait a minute.
And that whole thing happens with, like you said, there's a cool even moment with like Nami and the warthog bride. There's a funny moment where she's like, I don't even want to be with this guy. Like, he keeps following me around. Like, you need to get him. You guys are perfect together, actually.
Yeah.
And then she kind of becomes friends. They kind of become friends. I don't know. Really funny. Then that's when, it's the gang versus the generals. And that's this guy, Jigoro of the Wind, who is Zoro's shadow user. So that's when I'm like, okay, Zoro's gone. Then this other guy comes in, and this guy is a master swordsman, but his design, he's got like a t-shirt that's like ripped in half.
Yeah.
He's got a very funny character design, but you find out through his like fighting style that he has Zoro's shadow. Then you meet like Tarlon, the giant spider monkey.
I thought that was Luffy.
You really thought that was Luffy?
Yeah, I thought Luffy got taken away and was immediately turned into a spider monkey because like Monkey D. Luffy. I was like, zombie. If you had to be a zombie, be a monkey. Spider. So, but it was.
How does Spider fit into Luffy?
Spider. I spy a pirate, and it's Luffy.
Don't know how that works at all. I'm gonna just kind of keep moving. Gonna try that out.
Okay.
This is when you had a visceral reaction because
gross.
It's during this fight. It's during this fight that now we have Frankie and Robin fighting together. Which this is when I felt the Frankie Robin ship for sure.
Oh, they are on. They're the same. Like they had such great moments together on the train together, talking about life. They're similar in age. Like they just get each other. Like they're just the most mature and just I don't know. They're just perfect. Okay, they're just perfect together.
Yeah, they really are. They really, really are.
And it makes me upset when people say that it's not. They're like, oh, I think Zorro and like Zorro. Yeah, he might be good looking, but like. I wouldn't want to, like, he's not fun.
Yeah, he's not fun.
Frankie is fun. Frankie will make you laugh. Frankie is entertaining. Frankie will treat you right. You know, he treats a ship right, he'll treat you right. You know what I'm saying? He can build a ship. He can,
he is a shipwright. He'll treat your ship right. And you right. That was great. And I don't think you even realize how many layers that had. That was fantastic.
I'm telling you, Frankie's the way to go. Like, when it comes to, like, the team right now.
Yeah.
Frankie might be number one.
You're going to Frankie's quarters. First.
It might be. I'm going to Frankie's quarters.
First room you're going to.
Well, we kind of talked about this, the SBS. Someone said that. So we got a comment recently on a One Piece episode saying if you write to Oda, he will respond to any dick questions you do have about the crew. Yeah. And because we talked about Frankie's genitalia, if it consisted of iron or nuts or flesh. So I was like, okay, so I want to have a ranking system for all the Straw Hat men.
Yeah, and we want to call it C Penis 9.
C Penis 9, that's great. Fantastic. C Penis 9,
and we want to rank them all.
I want to rank them all. I want to know what's going on. I was thinking maybe Luffy might be top.
And I told her she's out of her mind because
he's got that gumu.
It's not all about size or stretching abilities or length or whatever.
He has stretching abilities and that Gatling,
And that is the craziest thing you've ever said on this podcast. And I want to move on because you already said it in another episode and it disturbed me then.
And Zoro got them swords. I mean, Sanji's like a romantic, though. I know he'll treat you right, too. And
Sanji is not a romantic, dude.
He's a romantic at heart. He's a perv, for sure. He's a perv, for sure. And this just solidified how much of a perv he is. I thought he was more of a gentleman than a perv. He wanted to be
Brooke is a gentleman perv.
Yeah, Brooke, too. Brooke can get it.
Brooke can jump my bones.
Yeah, for sure. But Frankie's got to be number one.
You know what?
He's gonna be number one.
I do not.
After I'd be like, I'm thirsty. Can I get some refreshment? Coke right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Ice cold.
Yeah. Come to vent. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you shake a bottle of Coke.
Okay, stop. Okay, you're taking it way too far. You take it way too far. You did not need to put.
Anyway, I took it too far. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That was my.
We're just having fun.
And we high-fived. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think you'll. So you're seeing them fight together, and you see they're just again their chemistry together. I mean, they got chemistry. All right, whatever. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
They do.
And it's during this fight that you see the bridge collapse and Robin have to use her like freaking wings that pop up that are made of all these arms. She can't fly. She can only kind of hover momentarily. But then Frankie can use his I forget what all the moves are called. He can use his Gatling arm to like grab the other side of the bridge. I mean, what a combo. That's the thing about it. Like combo breaker. Okay.
Combo.
When we saw this is what let me tell. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, he's got to readjust.
Let me tell you what I love. This is what I love, dude. Not only do we get inventive, unique devil fruit abilities, but with a Straw Hat crew, you get to see those abilities combined. When we get to see, when we got to see Robin,
preach it,
and her like Luffy stretch his hand all the way down to the water. Luffy stretched his hand all the way down in the water when he was trying to save, I think it was Usopp or somebody, he was trying to save somebody down there. And they Robin put an eyeball on his hand because he couldn't reach far enough, or maybe it was another way around or something, but it was just like,
the combos and the endless, possibilities of what they can grow to do, not only individually, but as a team. That is what they are trying to do. That is what they're trying to overcome. When they get together as a team, that's when they really shine. Individually, we get to see them do cool stuff. Luffy does cool stuff also. I feel like Luffy, as a majority, is the one who can, kind of take the heat one-on-one. But when we got groups, we got teams, like that's when we see the highlights. That's when we see the Straw Hats. That's when we see what are they called in Japanese? What are they? Straw Hats in Japanese?
The Straw Hat?
No. I'm sorry, guys. I let you down.
Yeah, it lost steam at the end, but you were really in the beginning. I was like, get him.
It's good to see them together.
Fantastic. And the combos, love it. After, that happens, I mean, we're going to have to speed through some of this stuff because I do want to give time to sort of the Brook stuff that happens later. But so at a certain point, Usopp's gang, they hide in, what is his name? Kumasi? What's this stuffed animal looking bear thing called?
Is that the name? You just can't pronounce it? Kumasi?
Yeah,
Kumasi?
yeah, it's Kumacy.
Acy. So yeah, Kumasi?
Kumashi.
Kumashi. He's like a little he's like a little bear.
Yeah, he's kind of really cute, actually, and
that's her goal. That's Perona's goal, to make all the cute
zombie
characters and animals. But he has like duct taped mouth, and he tries to speak to her, but she never wants to hear it. Like, and everyone all the time is like, "You're too hard on him."
Yeah,
such a great ongoing joke.
It's hilarious because he's obviously trying to tell her that they're literally hiding inside of him.
He's like, excuse me. She's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah, and then it kind of cuts back again, and we get to see the resolution of this fight and how Frankie is using like pillars as nunchucks, and Brook comes from the sky and crashes into the ground to help them. And he
shit.
The most baller shit, just freaking with his cane. And he like
Nosh slash.
Yeah, and purifies that freaking spider monkey zombie.
Salt.
Little salt.
And
you know what was he was Salt Bay for sure. And you know what was so awesome about the implications, or just how Oda was able to creatively like use the fact that freaking, and I don't know if this is in like folklore or anything, or like old sea legends, I don't know. But the fact that like ghosts and salt are always, together, right? You get rid of ghosts with salt. Mm-hmm. But
I wrote that down too.
It's like the sea, and then there's salt, salt in the sea.
Salt embodies the power of the ocean. Like, Oda, where'd you pull that shit from?
Yeah,
Oda, where are you? Like, so it's okay, got it.
I mean, he ate the go-go fruit, and we know that.
We know he
ate the go-go fruit.
And he can't swim.
And he can't swim, but he can swim in all that money he's making.
Oh.
He doesn't need to swim in water. He just needs to swim in money.
Someone it was.
Yeah.
Someone it was.
Dude, this was such a cool like twist on the ghost sort of salt purification thing, and I loved it. And so Brook kind of reveals to them how to purify ghosts with salt, and tells them that it embodies the power of the ocean, and also tells Frankie and Robin about his first time coming there. And he's like, because they're like, how do you know all this stuff? And he's like, well, when it first happened to me, I came and I was actually pretty scared. And that's another thing too. Like, he's scared of these things, and he looks like an undead skeleton, like talking skeleton, but he's scared of ghosts and all these things. And he's like, and then he overheard them. Dude, you know what? You said that the Chopper reaction face. This is a formula of joke that is used all the time. However, it caught me so off guard that I laughed probably maybe the hardest. And it's not even the funniest. It's just that it just caught me so off guard. But he's, because Brook is so scared. We're trying to figure out how to purify these things the first time he comes to this place. And he overhears zombies talking about like, oh yeah, did you hear about like something to the effect of like, oh yeah, did you hear about Carl? And he's like, yeah, dude, Carl. Yeah, he accidentally purified himself, dude, because he ate that like salted salmon or something, you know? And Brook's like, oh, that's the secret to purifying zombies. And then the next time he comes across a zombie, he's like, I know your weakness. And he throws salmon at him. And it's just like, he heard the wrong thing. It's not the most creative like joke formula or structure. It's been done to death, but it caught me so off guard here. And it was so just like well integrated into the story that I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. And we also want to say too, so I can stop saying island. It's revealed that it's a ship. That Thriller Bark,
which was cool because I was like, oh, Water 7 or no, Annie's Lobby. No, Water 7.
Well, the idea that Water 7
could become
a ship, yeah, or that the island, yeah, could become a ship. Yeah, this was a really cool reveal.
Yeah.
But even though you kind of, I mean, I guess you kind of have a feeling, but when you do see the sail, you are like, oh, that's nuts.
Nuts. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's literally huge.
Yeah.
It's like Luigi's mansion.
Luigi's floating mansion.
Luigi's floating mansion.
That was so rude. Then we cut back to the Luffy. What's happening with Luffy?
Yes.
And Luffy's shadow has been stolen, which I didn't even think it was gonna get that far. I didn't think it was gonna.
Really?
Well,
you're like the captain.
Yeah, I was like, because like, well, and I guess I should have known that it was gonna happen because just because your shadow's stolen doesn't mean you die. They find out that like. As a matter of fact, you're actually probably safer from them if your shadow's already been stolen because they don't, and you're strong, like, because they don't want to kill you. Because the moment that they kill you you die, your shadow dies, you're connected. And so whatever they put your shadow in will, die as well. So they actually knock you out and they put you back on a ship and then they set you off to sea. That's what Brooke also tells Frankie and Robin too, like, go back to the ship. And
they're probably
like,
there.
Yeah, and they're like, what? And then he's like, trust me. And then he tells them everything. We find out that Luffy's shadow is getting put into Zombie 900 from the land of ice.
Berserker warrior.
A berserker warrior, a 500-year-old berserker warrior. What was the prehistoric? Like, I want in the comments, like, again, it's so much all at once. Like, the gap in history, like, what was happening 500 years ago? I think, was it 500 or 800 or where was the gap? It just feels like, the world of One Piece. And I'm learning more about it every arc. And I'm learning about even freaking space pirates or space World War II muskrats. I don't know.
Muskrats, yeah. They're like cyborg muskrats.
Yeah, cyborg muskrats. Like,
from different eras.
But like just the fact that these creatures... like once walked to this earth too. They're bigger than giants and they're ancient. And it's just like, I don't know, man. This is like
interesting.
This world, curiouser and curiouser. But this thing is huge. And Luffy's shadow gets put into it, and it has Luffy's personality. It has Luffy's everything.
He goes, you're gonna go here and you're gonna do this for me. No way. I have a dream. They're like, oh dang, he has a dream. All the zombies are like, oh, dang. It's so funny. He's all like, just
where's Sanji? I'm hungry.
They're like, what is he talking about?
Who's Sanji? And he's like, I want to be king of the pirates. Yeah. And then even when he does this thing is huge, like an island in his own right. But he's like, gum. And he's like, I thought my arm was going to be made of rubber. Yeah, just really cool. And kind of ends up like Chopper became so big and went berserker mode, it ended up kind of accidentally helping them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of happening again, where this like huge creature is causing so much chaos and destruction that it's actually the chaos is working to their advantage sometimes.
Oh yeah, and he's like, he's kind of like actively working against the people that made him too. So it is funny because it is Luffy going against, what everyone's telling him to do. That's just his Luffy nature. And one of the funniest parts is like they go back to the ship, they see them all tied up and asleep, and they try to wake them up, and the only way they can wake them up is by saying like hurry, there's a beautiful female sword master carrying lots of meat. And then all of them wake up saying exactly what they wanted to hear. And it was so hilarious.
This is what I'm talking about. I thought this arc was one of the funniest arcs I'd ever read, and I forgot half these super funny jokes that happened. Like, you reminded me of the old man thing and that thing, and I'm like, I already thought, it's solidified now that this is like the funniest arc I've read so far.
And all the dialogue is like, no way, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. I have a dream. They're like, he has a dream? This monster has a dream?
Yeah.
Do I have dreams?
That's what I'm saying. Oda must have been on something when he was writing this and drawing this.
He was on the go-go fruit. That's all he's ever on.
He might have been on. Shit. He might have been on the. He might have been on the Coke fruit. Let's just say that. Coca-Cola, because he's like Frankie.
Coca-Cola.
Because he's like Frankie and he needs cola.
It helps with creativity.
And
productivity.
It does. The Coke fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Brook versus his shadow self, which is also kind of a crazy concept too. The shadow version of yourself, this like literal shadow. It's like better than you in every way, stronger than you in every way. It uses your skills, your talents for, in this case, evil. And we all have a shadow side, okay?
Oh yeah.
And a shadow zombie.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog, for sure.
Shadow the
Hedgehog. Doctor Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Doctor.
But this is where things really get emotional. Things have been so funny.
This reveal had me shook. Okay?
Yeah, I was dying from laughter, and just like Brook. I felt like Brook because I was like laughing. Like this first half of this arc like embodies the essence of Brook. Because I'm like, ha 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 ha, joke. This is so funny. Out of nowhere, boom, saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm feeling all of it. Brook is, and I think the chapter is called something along the lines of like, anything but my afro or don't take my afro.
Yeah.
But before that chapter, which might be the saddest chapter, after Robin, I want to live, after Frankie, and that emotional, him and his emotional departure from the Frankie family in Water 7, like Brook got me too, man. Like Frankie asked Brook a question and we kind of got a little tease of it when they departed and went their separate ways. He says, let me ask you one more question. And then it cuts away. When all of them are back on the Thousand Mary, Frankie starts saying to him, yeah, that's a real man right there. That's a real man right there. Cause I asked him a question. And Frankie, dude, first of all, Frankie, chill, bro. Frankie's like, the way Frankie worded this question, or like, I don't know.
He was coming for him.
He was really coming for him.
Well, because he kind of like said something suspicious. And then him and Robin were both like.
Yeah, well, he said, Frankie goes like something to the effect of like, you're, fighting to get your shadow back and, you're fighting to be a part of like the living world again or whatever. Why? Like, you know that once you get out, like, people are going to be like horrified by you. No one's going to understand like what you are. Everybody's going to be afraid, and that's going to be everywhere you go. Like, why would you want to do that? You have to know that. Like, you have to understand that. Like, you're crazy looking. And Brooks kind of like, well, yeah, but I'm doing it because I made a promise. I made a promise to somebody, and I'm the only one left that can fulfill this promise. And that matters more to me than, what anybody else thinks. And, he basically, this is Frankie telling the Straw Hats this, but, he basically tells him, he says that, he was part of a pirate crew. What was it, like 50 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
50 years ago, he was a musician on this pirate crew. And they were rambunctious, sort of overexcited and maybe even overeager group of rapscallions who decided to sail the Grand Line and made a friend. And that friend was Laboon.
Shocker. Shock of the century.
Yeah. And Frankie says like, Laboon, that's a weird name. And everybody in the Straw Hats is like,
Laboon?
No
The
freaking
Laboon?
way. And yeah, he basically says that he made him a promise. They all died. They were all killed by other pirates, which I don't know if that's going to be a reveal later. Like who killed Brooke's crew? Does Brooke have? Brooke obviously has all his memories.
So if he sees it, I'd be like, you're the one who killed me and my crew.
I'll bet it was freaking Blackbeard or something.
I bet, oh man.
I bet it was too. But like, it wasn't necessarily that. That reveal was like shocking enough.
Yeah.
But when the Wano undead swordsman is like giving Brooke shit and basically like being so hurtful and saying like, you know, are you gonna whine again? Like I'm better than you in every way. Are you really gonna try again? Are you really gonna like, you know, you might have gotten stronger, but you're nowhere near as strong as I. Like you're nothing. Like, you know, you might as well just like give up. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, and he says, like, what are you going to do? Say, like, not my afro again or anything but my afro again, blah, blah, blah. And then Brooke just goes on this, like, crazy inner monologue about how he's, like, Laboon. He's talking to Laboon.
And there's, like, pictures of them and, like...
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And he's basically saying, like, you know, I'm someone who's lost everything. I've lost my crew. I've lost my body. I've lost my shadow. I've lost everything.
My skin, my face.
There's nothing left of me. And so I don't even know if this friend will remember me. I have no defining features left. Nothing that sets me apart from just another skeleton. The only thing I have left is my afro. So I will fight and to keep this just so that you can see me and recognize me when we meet again. And I was like, holy shit.
I know. It was so great. I mean, I was like, even when like they were like talking and then he asked him the question, we didn't know what it really was about. And then it pans to like Frankie crying because Frankie's just such an empath and he's just like so any story he hears, he's just like an easy, sad crier. And it was just so crazy. I was like, here we go. Brooke's sad backstory. They all gotta have one. They all gotta have one. I didn't know he was gonna be like to Laboon though. That was a crazy reveal. But everything else, I mean, was just so great and like, it was believable. And even everyone was just like, let's get them back together. Like, we got to get out of this to get them together.
It's so, and that's when I think everybody realizes, like, no, this guy, I mean, once they find out that he has a connection to Laboon, they're like, oh, yeah, no, this guy's for sure a Straw Hat. Like, we're all in agreement this guy is a Straw Hat. And because now we are all in agreement that he is a Straw Hat, we got to go save him.
Yeah.
What I love about Brooke's backstory is with Nami and even with Robin and, you know, I mean, Usopp, I mean, all of, you know, Zorro, Sanji to a degree, like they all have emotional backstories that are more, you know, kind of grounded in a more believable reality. What's so crazy about Brooks is so wacky on the surface.
Yeah.
But Oda's able to take something wacky in theory or on a surface level wacky and just really dig into it and find a way for you to emotionally connect on like the saddest level with a skeleton with an afro.
A skeleton with an afro who made a promise to a whale that was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
By ramming his head into a wall.
I mean, he's able to make you feel things that I mean, anybody can take. Anybody can take a father and a son, cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, and everybody. Whoa, that was. I decided to sing it halfway through, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is the saddest thing ever," you know. And then, you know, everybody can take a dad and a daughter, you know, I'm like, butterfly kiss it. Oh, sad. It's not gonna. Oda can be like, oh, here's an undead skeleton, you know, gentleman perv afro with a top hat wearing, you know, best friend whale having guy. Get ready to cry. Get your tissues.
Get them ready.
Yeah. No one else can do that. I'm sorry. No one else can do that.
Great.
Show me.
Show me then.
Yeah, show me then. So crazy. And then we find out, and this is kind of, we're winding down, we're getting towards the end. We find out the plan of attack. And to kind of power through this, but to give moments to our highlights from these fights. And I think there's really there's 3 highlights, maybe 4, I don't know. But basically what ends up happening is the gang all kind of go, and their plan is, whether it's what their plan is or what it ends up becoming, because bridges collapse and people get rearranged and groups get rearranged. But what it ends up being is Luffy versus Gecko, Sanji versus Absalom, Usopp versus Perona, Frankie and Zorro versus Frankie, Zorro, Brook versus the
swordsman Roma.
Yeah, swordsman. And they all have their highlights. I mean, obviously, if you had to say out of all these fights, we'll talk about your favorite one first. What was your favorite one out of all these?
I would probably have to say, I mean, honestly, I think it was Usopp and Perona. Yeah. Just because it was so wacky and there were things that happened that were so like fun. And it was just such a fun fight, like between the two of them. And like the ultimate reveal of like Usopp like figuring out what's actually happening and like going against the weak spot, and that reveal. And, you know, like Perona growing to like, you know, it was like Alice in Wonderland to the max right there when she turned huge. And it was just like little things here and there that just made it so unique and such a fun fight to like, you know, to watch. And even the you know, the big teddy bear, he was in kind of it too. And the negative ghost, you know, just the fact that the negative ghost didn't work on Usopp was hilarious, because he's like, I'm already negative. You think you can hate yourself as much as I do? Like, I'm already extremely negative. And she just kind of was like, and her faces are so funny. And like, you know, the reveal that she's scared of the cockroaches. And I like a character that's like, you know, totally terrifying. And the one thing that they're scared of is like the most minuscule thing in the world. And it was just fun. It was just flat out fun. The other ones, I was kind of like, I mean, Sanji and that guy, that was an insane twist of what actually was the case with Sanji. But, you know, like Luffy and the Warlord, that was more serious. Zorro, you know.
Serious-ish, as much as a fight with Luffy in the beginning.
But even Zorro and Brook, like, that was kind of serious too. Like, you know, Zorro was kind of putting up a good fight, and he ended up, you know, like kind of not being beaten, but, you know, getting his butt kicked a little bit. So, yeah, I think that Perona and Usopp are my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I almost might have to agree. I mean, the only other fight that I would really say, I mean, when Brook was fighting the swordsman on his own, I mean, just that sort of like, you know,
I mean, he's literally fighting himself.
Yeah, dude. And it's just like you're
wild.
They're all fighting themselves. And it's just like, I mean, that I'm excited to see kind of like how that plays into the rest of this arc. But that was a highlight. But in these last fights in this part that we're going to talk about, like, I might have to agree with you. The only one that I think was like just also up there because of how funny it was Sanji versus Absalom. But
yeah, it has to be like Usopp, Perona, Sanji, probably Luffy.
I would right now, I would put Luffy towards, I mean, that fight, I can only imagine it's going to get way crazier and way better. Yeah. And it's still great. But the strategic nature of the Perona and Usopp fight.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing. I love when I get to see Usopp think on his feet and be like resourceful. And when he went into the specs of his new slingshot and how he would pack different dials in there and how he absorbed, I mean, this man is freaking Batman, dude.
He really
Usopp is freak Robert Pattinson, okay?
Whoa.
Freak him, dude. I want Usopp to be the next Batman, all right?
Yeah.
The Shark Knight, okay?
Yeah, there's a Soge King. There's an S in the sky.
And then the Soge King, you know, maybe gets a little
Soge King.
Dude, I mean, you know what? Actually, you know what? I don't want Usopp to be the next Batman. I want the Soge King and Batman to square up, dude.
Oh.
And I'll bet Soge King's walking out of there, you know, victorious.
Oh, for sure. Batman's got nothing. He's got nothing.
I just love it. I love seeing that side of Usopp because yes, it's one thing to be powerful and strong and have all these abilities, but Usopp doesn't have those things. And to see him excel and shine and use his strengths and play to those strengths on top of taking the things that he's collected throughout his journey and adapting. I mean, this man is
It was just
awesome.
great to see also like the team like trusting him. You know, that was like for the first time not being like, oh, we got to help Usopp. Someone should stay back with Usopp. We should do this for Usopp. Like that was the one time where they were like literally said, oh, Usopp's got it.
Yeah.
Usopp's got it. We can go handle these people.
Yeah.
Like that was a crazy moment for him
Yeah.
and like a great moment for him.
Yeah, it was amazing. Then the Sanji Absalom fight, really quick highlights from that. What I loved about it is the shift. We get this like moment where Sanji gets serious and Oda doesn't, at least I don't recall, give you any signs that this is going to turn later.
Or that he's like hinted at ever wanting this, you know, to any other person on his team.
Yeah, because he basically reveals that he's been studying. He's like, this is personal because of Nami, but also like you robbed me of my dream.
And I do
think this is real, but also it is like misdirected. And there's a punchline and it is played for comedy ultimately at the end. But even in this moment, Sanji's like, it's so funny. Sanji's like, yeah, I studied the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. Not all of them have been recorded, but of the ones that were recorded, there was one that I always dreamed of having. And you know, it was the invisible whatever fruit.
Yeah, it was the clear fruit.
The clear fruit.
And I was like, Sanji, you wouldn't want something to do with cooking, you know, fire,
Heck
you know,
no, dude.
like
And
insane.
The zombie spectator elevates this whole scene.
It really does.
Because he's like, the panel, like Sanji's hair starts to curl up and it just like, he's so intense and he's talking about this dream. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm like learning so much about Sanji right now. And then he's like, yeah, I was gonna go to all the bathhouses. And the zombie's like, what? And he's like, save so many lives. You know, it's just like, he kind of doesn't miss a beat when he shifts from like, but it's so funny. And then Absalom goes back and he's just like, well, I blah, blah, blah was going to do this. And then the zombie spectator's like, you guys are just as bad. Like, it doesn't matter who got the fruit because you guys are just equally as irresponsible with it.
Yeah, that was great. The zombie spectator, that was so funny.
And that was a cool reveal too, because even this whole time over the course of this arc, I was wondering, like, Absalom, what is he? I mean, he looks like he could have ate a zone type devil fruit. But then you put together that Hogback, you know, gave him the strength of like all these animals. He's like a surgically modified human.
He's got the stomach of a walrus. I don't know. I don't know what he said. Elephant. I have the hide. You know, all these different rhino, like all these different animals to make him like super indestructible. And Sanji's just like.
So at first you wonder like, okay, well, what makes like is he like a zone type devil fruit user? Then you find that out, and then you wonder like, okay, well, how is he able to shoot these like blasts from his hands? Like, does he have this like blast fruit? I don't know. And then he can turn invisible. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I think this is like Oda also saying like, yeah, you just when you think you know, you have no idea.
You don't know.
And this guy probably has the coolest combination of abilities. He gets the kind of like some of the perks of being a zone devil fruit user on top of being able to use his actual devil fruit ability to make it seem like he has all these other crazy abilities because he's using his clear power on these guns that he has strapped to his hands. And he can not only make himself invisible, but anything he touches invisible.
Sick.
Which is why he was able to like grab Nami and like sink into nothingness.
Yeah, such a great power though.
Kind of brush past too, but
yeah, such a great. That was Haunted Mansion. Eddie Murphy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying it kind of pulls from all these things, or feels like it pulls from all these things. But that was a crazy cool fight. And then we got the Zorro and Frankie helping Brooke. I mean, and the Luffy fight, we're gonna, I'm sure, see more of. It's like definitely the shadow. He's having to fight the shadow version of Gecko, and you know, we'll get to see the resolution of that fight in the next part. But Frankie and Zorro helping too. We'll see the resolution of that fight as well. But what's really cool about where this fight leaves off is, or where we left off in our reading, is that Zorro's missing a sword. And Zorro is like, yeah, what's that sword called? And he's like, yeah, it's one of the, you know,
ancient swords, or like, you know, respected antiques. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, that's mine.
That's mine.
That's mine. Such a cocky.
I love him. And Yeah. And then at the very end, so yeah, it kind of, where we start reading, it kind of ends on Usopp versus Perona, and then it kind of ends also on Zorro wanting to claim that sword.
Which is crazy because he'll be like, I mean, he basically beat him when we left off where we read. Zorro's like laying on the floor.
Oh yeah, Zorro was getting the crap beat.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, okay, like I actually have to try."
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
I mean, that's where we left off in part 1. I cannot wait for part 2. Yes! I talked about in the end of our Enies Lobby Water 7 sort of arc, multi-arc discussion, I talked about how like I had never been this excited to continue reading. It's almost like every single time more and more excited. And I know that it might not always feel this way. Similarly with Berserk, like with Berserk, I felt like there was a part where it was like ramping up and every arc was getting better and better and better. And then it kind of did hit a plateau, never declined, but it felt like a plateau. And then it went up and up and up again. I understand that, over the course of thousands of chapters, there will be ups and downs. However, Thriller Bark for me has been a consistent and constant up. And since the beginning of, and even Skypiea, man, like it has been nothing but up. There have been no dips. I'm having so much fun. I do not feel like this is a breather. I haven't been able to catch my breath this episode. I'm so far in so much love with this. Yes. I cannot wait to finish. And part 2 is going to be insane. But Mehgan, what are some other final thoughts you have about part 1 of Thriller Bark?
I mean, it is everything, again, I love about One Piece. I said that about the Foxy arc. I mean, I'll say it here. I feel like Oda, you could feel the fun he was having drawing these panels. You could feel the fun that he put into this arc, because it is just like, wow, hilarious. The writing's amazing. The setting is so cool, and something that he probably kind of anticipated you not even imagining in this type of setting or world, but yet he does it, and he does it so effortlessly, and you just believe it in an instant. It's not out of place. It is just, oh, we got sea ghosts. Okay, cool, great, on a ship. Yeah. Okay, amazing. Anything in One Piece now does not surprise me. It doesn't. It's like, oh, Oda, you did it again.
Yeah, and it's so different. Like,
yeah,
we say that all the time too, and we go from arc to arc, and it seems like genre to genre. Like this, like everything about it from the ground up feels different and doesn't feel like, as someone who hasn't read this far into One Piece and has only seen One Piece as an outsider, doesn't even seem like would be anything that would be in One Piece. Yet fits, like you said, it's so seamless and fits so well. I mean, the energy, the comedy, the heart, all of it, man. Thriller Bark, dude.
More like Thriller Heart.
Yeah. Jeez. I can't. So with all that said, I mean, I feel like you can feel it. How much we're enjoying this. And we want to hear your comments, and we want to know, because, again, with Skypiea, a lot of people came out and said, yeah, don't listen to those people. I do wonder how you guys feel about Thriller Bark. It's also been told to us that, people do have some mixed feelings about this arc. And I'm just kind of wondering, be honest. No, if you feel like this is a breather arc, or if you feel like it, it doesn't hit or connect with you as much as it does with us, be honest. I mean, we're not, like I said, not here to attack anybody for how they feel. You just want to know.
No. And like I said, like the comments don't affect our reading. It's just a kind of like this is interesting that people feel this way about this. It is interesting that, a lot of people were saying Thriller Bark is, kind of a, not filler, but like, just like a breather, not a lot happens, but we kind of felt the opposite, even knowing that information going in, we're like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is just, up into interpretation, I guess, and how you feel about it, but definitely like comment and let us know how you feel about it. If this is one of your favorite arcs, let us know. If one of your least favorite arcs, let us know, and why.
Yeah. So let us know, and make sure to tune in for part 2, our part 2 discussion. I don't want to overhype it too much, but I'm so hype on part 1. Can't wait for part 2. Cosplay is coming back in part 2, and a special mystery guest is coming back in part 2. Guess that in the comments down below as well.
You have to make it. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell. You're not going to want to miss that one. You're not going to want to miss it.
But that is going to do it for part 1, Thriller Bark. Before we go, we have to shout out and we have to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing Patreon members.
Woo!
thank every single one of you guys for your support. Your support means the world to us. It's because of you that we can do the things that we do, and it's because of you that our show is the show it is. Everything that you see and everything that we have time to read, and the quality of the content and the time we're able to put into making the content is because of the financial freedom that you as Patreon members and YouTube members give us. You guys have changed our lives, and really, I mean, I can't thank you enough. I really can't thank you enough. You guys are amazing. And your support is so greatly appreciated. And I never want to just read this section of the podcast off of a script. I struggle sometimes to make it different, but I mean, it's the least I can do because I want it to feel genuine, because you guys genuinely mean the world to us. And your support genuinely means the world to us. And so if you would like to become a Patreon member and a YouTube member, and show your support that way, then you can do that by going to patreon.com/volume1pod or clicking join on this video. You get early access to all of our videos and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra. In our previous one, we just reviewed Fresh, we just reviewed Turning Red, and we just reviewed Atom Project. So sometimes we talk movies, sometimes we talk anime, manga, sometimes we talk life. Access to that, early access to all our episodes on the lowest tier on both places. Patreon.com/volume1pod or join on this video. But if you can't support financially, please do not feel bad at all, because there are ways that you can show your support that are equally as important to us, and Mehgan will let you know what those ways are.
Yes, if you have no zombie fingers to spare.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
If you don't have any to spare, if you don't have any money at the moment, don't worry about it. All you have to do is comment on any one of our videos. You can comment a comment, a period, an emoji, or you can comment algorithm gang gang, and you will become gang affiliated V1.
Yep, you got it. You got it.
V1 gang gang, and that acts as a free tip. And if you comment on our videos, it reaches to the algorithm to spread our videos far and wide across the globe, and it really helps us out. Any engagement whatsoever on these videos helps us immensely, and that is free 99, people. Free 99.
Yes, it is. And I've been broke my whole life, so just know that supporting those ways also means the world to us. Sharing the videos too with other One Piece fans, this video specifically, the Done Piece playlist with other fans, rating, all that stuff. We love you. We love you. We love you all. But that's going to do it. All we got to do now is get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today is...
Can we go off on a joke?
Sure.
And then and then I'll end right after the joke. Punchline.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Knock, knock.
Okay, do it again.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo-hoo.
Why are you crying? It's just a joke.
You want to end the episode that way? That's how the music's already rolling. Stop the music. Stop the music. You want to end it that way? We're ending Thriller Bark with that joke? Yeah, that's the sound you're going to make after you get what's coming.